I'm Anil Kumar. Welcome to my channel and thanks for active participation. Many students have requested to review few topics and here is the one on lines. So I have 5 questions for you. We'll graph the lines, write equation of the lines and do some application questions. The very first one here is to graph lines. We have 4 options. You can actually pause the video, graph these lines and then look into my suggestions. The first one here is y equals to minus 3 over 4 x plus 5. So in this case, we have slope m equals to minus 3 over 4 and we have the y-intercept b as 5. Okay? So we can begin with the y-intercept 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that becomes our first point. Then the slope is minus 3 over 4. So you can get a line, go down 3 units, 1, 2, 3 and 4 right. 1, 2, 3, 4. You get 1 point. You could also go up 3 and left 4. So you'll go up 3, 1, 2, 3 and left 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So you get these 3 points. Connecting these points will give you the line required for the given equation. Perfect. So that is how you're going to do it. 3 points will define a line. So there it goes. So that's the line which we are looking for, correct? Okay. Now let's do the second one. We are given the equation now in the standard form. So whenever the equation is given in standard form, find x and y intercepts, right? So let me rewrite this line. I'll do it here. So we have 2x minus 3y. We'll rewrite this as equal to 6. Now let's find the x-intercept. For x-intercept, you have to substitute y equals to 0. So if I substitute y equals to 0, I get 2x equals to 6 or x is equals to 6 over 2, which is 3. How will you do y-intercept? For y-intercept, substitute x equals to 0. When I write 0 here, I get minus 3y equals to 6, or what we get here is y equals to minus 2. So for the second line, we have x and y intercepts. X-intercept of 3 means 1, 2, 3, and y-intercept of minus 2 means right there. Joining these 2 points, we get our straight line. So that's what we are going to do. So we are going to just join these points to get the required line. Perfect. So that's how you get the second line. So second line has been done in this color. Now C and D are 2 very special lines. I'd like you to pause the video and sketch those lines. X equals to 7. Now this is a vertical line which goes through 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So here is this line, x equals to 7, right? So this is x equals to 7. So it'll go through this point which is 7. A vertical line has undefined slope. Perfect. The horizontal line y equals to 3 can now be sketched. Y equals to minus 3 means 1, 2, 3. At every point, the y value is minus 3. That's what it means, correct? So that becomes your y equals to minus 3. So I hope you have recalled how we were sketching lines. Let's move on to question number 2 now. Question number 2. Find an equation for a line. We are given 3 different conditions here. Well, you can write equation of a line in slope-intercept form as y equals to mx plus b, or also you could write it as ax plus by plus c equals to 0. So that is the standard form, correct? So let's go through the questions and then decide. Find an equation for a line with slope m, 6 passing through the point minus 1, 4. So we are given slope. So we normally use m for slope. So m equals to 6 and the point is minus 1, 4. Since the slope is given to us, it's good to use the line equation y equals to mx plus b. So we can write this as y equals to 6x plus b. Now to find the value of b, we'll use the point. X value is minus 1, y value is 4. So we can write 4 here, and 6 times minus 1 plus b. Bringing this to the left, we get 4 plus 6 equals to b. So b is 10. Once you know that b is 10, you can write down the equation, since slope is already known to you, as 6. And therefore, the equation of this line should be y equals to 6x plus 10. Correct? So that is how you'll do it. The second one here is that line passes through 2 points. So when it is passing through 2 points, we should first find the slope. Okay. So the points here, let's call them A and B. Point A is minus 5, 0, and point B is 5, 6. Slope M is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So in this case, 6 minus 0 over 5 minus 5. So it becomes plus, which is 6 over 10 dividing by 2, we get 3 over 5. So that is the slope for us. So we can again write y equals to mx plus b, right? Where m for us is 3 over 5. So we get y equals to 3 over 5x plus b. To find b, we can use one of these points. Let's use 5 and 6, right? So 5 will cancel. 6 equals to 3 over 5 times 5 plus b. So this 5 cancels. So we can take away 3 from 6 to get the value of b, right? So 6 minus 3 equals to b. So b is equals to 3. Since now we know that b is 3, we can write down the equation as y equals to 3 over 5 x plus 3, right? Well, if you get this form, you could actually convert it to standard form also. So let's do the conversion as an additional step, not really required. Multiply by 5, we get 5y equals to 3x plus 15. Bring them all together. So when you bring them all together, coefficient of x should always be positive. So we get 3x minus 5y plus 15 equals to 0. Correct? So that is how you should be doing it. Perfect. So I hope the concept is absolutely clear. So the two answers for us are, for part A, it is y equals to 6x plus 10, and for part B, you could have written in this fashion or this. Well, some of you could also use the formula y minus y1 equals to m times x minus x1 to get the equation in standard form. Okay. Part C. Vertical line through a particular point, 2, 3. So when we are talking about a vertical line, I hope you understand, it has undefined slopes. So the scenario is kind of like this. So you have a vertical line through the point 2, 3. So it's kind of like this. So in this vertical line, let's take a point here, which is, let's say, 2, 3. It really means that every point value will be 2, the x value. And so x equals to 2 is your equation. Perfect. So that is how you're going to do it. So let's move on and take question number 3. Question number 3. Find equation for a line perpendicular to 5x plus 2y minus 8 equals to 0 and has the same y-intercept as x plus 4y minus 12. So we are given two different conditions, and let's see how to find this particular equation. So first condition is line perpendicular. So from here, we'll get the slope, right? So from here, we'll get the slope m. And the second one here is same y-intercept. So here you'll get the value b for the y-intercept. So let's find them individually. So we have the equation 5x plus 2y minus 8 equals to 0. To find slope, we'll rearrange this equation. So we get 2y equals to minus 5x plus 8. Dividing by 2, you get minus 5 over 2x plus 8 over 2. That gives you y equals to minus 5 over 2x plus 4. So slope of this line m is minus 5 over 2. Correct? Now how do you find slope of perpendicular line? So for a perpendicular line, Slope is negative reciprocal. So I'll write this as m perpendicular will be, you flip it and change the sign, so it'll be 2 over 5. Okay, so that becomes the slope. Now to find the y-intercept, we'll work with the given equation, which is x plus 4y minus 12 equals to 0. Y-intercept means x equals to 0 for y-intercept, correct? Substituting x equals to 0, we get 0 plus 4y minus 12 equals to 0. We can solve for y now, right? So we have 4y equals to 12, or y equals to 12 over 4, which is 3. And that gives you the y-intercept value b as 3 for you. We want to write the equation of the form y equals to mx plus b. We have all the components here. Slope for our line is 2 over 5, so we have y equals to 2 over, let's read it. So y equals to 2 over 5 x plus b, which is 3, correct? So that is how you get the equation of your line. Again, you could write this in standard form by multiplying by 5, correct? So in that case, if you do that, you'll get your answer as 2x minus 5y plus 15 equals to 0. I like you to do it, right? So do it yourself. So check it out. So check the solution. Okay, so let this be an exercise for you. Let's move on and take up question number 4 now. Question number 4. Find equation for the lines in the graph below. So we have 4 different lines here. So let me mark them. This is the first line, L1, correct? And then we have line number 2, which is this one. So this is line number 2. I'd like you to pause the video, answer this question, and then look into my suggestions, right? Line number 3 is a horizontal line shown here. And then we have line number 4, which is a vertical line. Okay, so these are the 4 lines you need to write equation for. Okay, so let's begin with line number 1. So line number 1 is the line which goes through the origin. So since it is, we're talking about line 1 first, is it okay? Now this particular line, since it goes through the origin, here is a direct variation, right? Value of b is equal to 0. Let's find the slope of this line. To find the slope, I'm taking a point here, which is for x value of 2, y value is 4. So we have a point, let's call this point as P, which is 2 and 4. So that will give us the slope. So m is equal to, this is origin. So we could use O always as 0, 0, right? So 4 minus 0 over 2 minus 0, which is 2. So it's the ratio of these two numbers. And therefore, the equation of this line can be written as y equals to 2x. Correct? So that is how we get our first line. Now let's look into the second line, L2. So this is the second line which is dropping. So it has a negative slope. So you can read the y-intercept here, which seems to be 1, 2, and 1, 3. So y-intercept, we're talking about line 2. Now in this case, the y-intercept is equal to 3. So we'll write b equals to 3. That is the y-intercept. And the x-intercept here is at 6. Right? So x-intercept is 6. Let's call this point as b. So the point b on the line 2 will be 6, 0. Correct? So now, based on these two lines, we can actually write the equation. Correct? Okay. So so this is the point. So the equation will be y equals to m x plus 3. Now, since we have a point here, so we can substitute the point and find the value of m. So we'll doing the reverse way, 6 and 0. Substituting this point, 6 and 0, we get 0 equals to 6m plus 3, right? So that means taking 3 on this side means minus 3 equals to 6m, and that gives you the value of m as minus 3 over 6 or minus half. And therefore, I can write this equation as y equals to minus half x plus 3. Does it make sense? So that is how you would actually get this particular equation. Okay. Now, let's look into the third line, which is a horizontal line. So L3. So the horizontal line L3 is a horizontal line. So what is going to be the equation? So every point the value is 5, and this value 5 is for the y value. So it should be y equals to 5. Correct? The last line, line 4, which is very bold here, is a vertical line. Now for a vertical line, we see that the x value is same. The x value is minus 3 everywhere. So the line 4, which is a vertical line, the equation should be x equals to minus 3. Is that clear? So that is how you can easily get equation of a line from the graph. Perfect. Let's move on to the last question, which is our application question. Question 5. Peter makes house calls to repair home appliances. The following table shows a partial list of his repair charges. Write an equation and then find the repair charges for 6 hours. So you can actually pause the video, answer this question, and then look into my suggestions. Now what do you notice? Hours and the cost. So if we find the finite difference, then it is easy for us to solve this question, correct? So I hope you remember the concept. So we're finding by how much is it increasing? Is it a constant amount? So you could do 150 minus 110, that is 40 for us. And if I do 190 minus 150, that is also 40 for us. And 230 minus 190 is also 40 for us. So what we notice here is that the first difference is constant. And therefore, we have a linear relation. Correct? So since we have a linear relation, we could represent this function as a straight line. Let it be y equals to mx plus b. Now for every hour, it is increasing by 40. So in this case, clearly, we have m equals to 40. Correct? Since m is 40, I can substitute this value right there and find b. Right? This is what I could do. So I have y equals to 40x plus b. To find b, I can substitute one of the points. So let's take the very first point, which is, for 1, it is 110. So we can say 110 equals to 40 times 1 is 1 plus b. So 110 minus 40 should be the value of b, correct? So which is 70 for us. So we get the value of b as 70. And now we can write down the equation as y equals to 40x plus 70. Now some of you could have done something extraordinary. That is, you can go back, so take away 40, correct? So if I go back for 0 hours, how much will he charge? Peter will charge for coming there, right? Maybe just comes and sees everything is fine, but he will charge you money. And that is going to be $70. So if you do that portion, then you get the y-intercept directly. You don't have to do this calculation. So that is kind of interesting, which some students can definitely do to, solve or to get the equation. Now, part B is write an equation and then find the repair charges for 6 hours. So that is the equation. Now, normally, you will like to write this equation in the variables which you are working with. So let me rewrite this equation, correct? So we say let t be the time and c be the cost. In that case, our equation will be c equals to 40t plus 7. Does it make sense? So that is a, 70. Okay, 40t plus 70. So that is the way we should be actually writing. Perfect. Now with that in view, let's find the solution of part B, which is for 6 hours. So the charges for 6 hours will be 40 times 6 plus 70, correct? So it is 240 plus 70. And that is 0, 7, 4, 11, 310. So the answer here is for 6 hours, it'll be 80 more than what we have written here, right? So it'll be $310. Right. So with that, we come to an end of this review on lines. I hope most of the concepts have become fresh in your mind. Feel free to write your comments and share your views. Thanks for watching and all the best.